choose the best apportionment for a given region. Now, we have talked in different videos about the 4 different methods of apportionment. So how do we know which one is best, fair, whatever, when should we use what? Well, first, let's talk about the 4 methods. We've got the Hamilton method. Hamilton method uses the lower quota and then gives the extra seats to the highest decimal values. The Jefferson method also uses the lower quota, but you have to use a modified divisor until you have the correct number of seats. Adams method uses the upper quota and then again modifies the divisor until you have the correct number of seats. And Webster uses normal rounding rules and then modifies the divisor until you have the correct number of seats. So only Hamilton does the quota and then passes out the rest. The rest of them, you have to change modified divisor, maybe a little bit more work depending on the problem. So given the table below, which method most fairly apportions seats to the states? So we have 4 states, A, B, C, and D, with the populations given. You can see the standard quota, because we know no matter which method you use, you start by finding the standard divisor. And in this case, we're using 80 seats, as you can see at the bottom of this table. So you would take the total population of 2,468,524, divide by 80 to give you your standard divisor. And then you would take the population of each particular state, divide by the standard divisor, and that gives you the standard quota. From the standard quota, we then can go, lower quota, upper quota, and then change from there. So for each one of these, you're going to notice that state A gets 24, state B gets 18, C gets 16, and D gets 22. So no matter which method you start with, whether you start with the lower or upper quotas or use your rounding rules, you end up with the same. So in this example, all apportionment methods yields the same result. So they're all fair. So it really wouldn't matter which one you use. Now, sometimes the methods are going to be off just a little, right? You might have where one seat goes to a different state, but they should all be fairly close because they're all starting with the same standard quota. So just keep that in mind. But when you do all 4 methods and they all come out the same, then you realize it doesn't really matter which one you use because ultimately you get the same answer.